Entrepreneur, paparazzi, propaganda, cul-de-sac, genre, chocolate, fest. What do these words have in common? Can you guess? That's right, these are words that we commonly use in the English language that we stole. That's right, English is very much a global language. It has been influenced over the years for a number of different reasons, including the British Empire. And now, more than ever, it is important to realise that English encompasses so many different languages and cultures. So in today's lesson, I'm going to share 20 words that we commonly use in English, 20 words that I think are often a little more advanced to use, but 20 words that we have stolen. Have we stolen these words from your language? Do make sure that you comment below and share some words that we've stolen from your language if I don't include them in this lesson. And of course, if I've missed out your language, do comment below and make sure that you share some words from your language that we use. And I will, of course, make a part 2. Right, let's get started. 20 stolen words in English. Right, number 1. This is a word that you will often find difficult to pronounce, but it is a lovely sounding word. Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. Now, this word does sound delightful, and of course, the reason being, it's French. These words that I'm just about to share with you now are all French, derived from French, and used daily in English. So, entrepreneur is a person who starts their own company, their own business. Basically, they make their own money and they do it successfully. SpaceX and Tesla Motors were all started by Elon Musk, a perfect example of an entrepreneur. Number 2, faux pas. Faux pas. Listen to the pronunciation. Don't look at the words because they don't really look like they sound. So faux pas, another French word and one that we do use in English, but I would suggest it's a little bit more sophisticated, a little bit more advanced to use, even formal. It describes a social mistake, an error that you make within a social context. And usually you commit a faux pas, like you commit a crime. I really committed a bit of a faux pas last night when I asked Sarah if she wanted a drink. I completely forgot she'd quit alcohol. Number 3, genre. Genre. Again, you won't hear that j sound pronounced with a G in normal English words, only with the French. Genre is referring to a type or kind of something, usually when we talk about music and, of course, films. My favourite genre? Rom-com, romantic comedies. Can't get enough of Julia Roberts. Number 4, when you go on holiday and you want to bring back a present for some of your friends or family, you would want to get them a souvenir. Souvenir. Yes, a souvenir, a small gift, a trinket, something small, but shows that you thought of that person while you were on holiday. In the UK, when you visit a seaside town, you often take back a stick of rock. Sounds weird, it's actually a long stick of candy, it's a sweet. Not something you want to eat if you want to keep your teeth healthy. Number 5, lingerie. Lingerie. Referring, of course, to women's underwear only. You wouldn't refer to men's as being lingerie. You wouldn't refer to men's underwear pants being lingerie. Lingerie usually suggests slightly more romantic, sexy underwear, like bras and knickers, basically, and other things besides. But lingerie is describing women's underwear, the sexy kind. Excuse me, do you know where the lingerie department is? Number 6, our last French word, and my goodness, there are many more, so I have kept this to a minimum. Number 6, rendezvous. Rendezvous. Not a word we would commonly use in day-to-day English, perhaps more formal, perhaps suggesting a more romantic connection, meetup, or otherwise just suggesting a place where you plan on meeting. So tomorrow, shall we rendezvous at 5 o'clock outside of the cinema? Yes, it sounds a little bit overly formal, a little bit strange, but you may very well hear it used. You could also use it, as I suggested, as more of a romantic meeting. We had a little rendezvous last night. I think though this really is just in English, because obviously rendezvous in French is simply the place where people plan to meet or the action of meeting, both a noun and a verb. Now, French words are really quite obvious, I think, in the English language, but German, I think they're a little bit more hidden. In fact, many of these words that I'm about to share with you, I didn't realise came from German, from the Germanic language. The first, Angst. Angst, a feeling of perhaps apprehension, even anger. It originates from a German word meaning distress or worry. Why so much angst? I know you're going to pass your exam. It's often used in English to describe those teenage years where you feel teenage angst, anxiety, apprehension, because of, well, hormones probably. Number 8, deli or delicatessen. Delicatessen. Now, I actually would have thought this was French, but no, it is based in German. So a delicatessen is usually an informal restaurant where you can find different sandwiches, coffee and other small foods, often meats, salamis, things like this. In London, you'll find lots of lovely delicatessens to go and have lunch. Number 9, fest. Fest. You would think of this as coming from festival, and essentially that's exactly what it means in German. Think about it. Oktoberfest. Have you ever been to Oktoberfest? A very world famous festival of beer in Germany. Oktoberfest is a great example of the use of fest, and of course now we use it much more in English when we talk about different music festivals. The Jazz Fest, for example. Rather than saying festival, we would use fest. Very common in English, and of course quite standard, I think, to understand because it kind of comes from festival. But origins in German. Number 10, kindergarten, literally translated in German, children's garden. Kinder is children in German. But we now use it more commonly in British English, but certainly in American English it has been used for quite some time to describe that first year before you go to elementary school. So your first kind of couple of years of school as a very young child, before the age of 5, I guess. So yes, kindergarten, very commonly used now. Number 11, rucksack. Rucksack, otherwise known as backpack. So you choose which you use. It really doesn't make too much difference, but if you hear somebody say rucksack, they are using the German word, the word that originated in the German language. So I've just recently bought a super dry rucksack to travel with because I thought it would be easier with a child. So ruck comes from a rucken, meaning back, and sack, meaning bag. Rucksack. Now, Spanish, like Italian, is Latin-based, and we have many Latin-based words in English. Now, number 12, guerrilla. Careful, the spelling for this word, guerrilla, is quite different to the ape, gorilla, but the pronunciation exactly the same. In Spanish, guerrilla essentially means little war. And in both Spanish and English, it's used to describe an unofficial group of people who are fighting the government. So you'd often hear about guerrilla warfare in countries like South Africa. And we do most commonly use this word in English as an adjective, guerrilla warfare being a prime example. The guerrilla fighters took control of the capital of the country. Something I dread when I go on holiday. Rarely do we have a bad problem with them in this country. Mosquitos. Basically, little fly in Spanish, but of course we know mosquito to be that evil little thing that likes to bite you and suck your blood. And I don't know what it is about me, but certainly mosquitoes love me. I think it's all the sugar I eat. Comment below and let me know, how often are you bitten by mosquitoes? Honestly, they just devour me, meaning eat very much in an enjoyable way. When you have a lovely garden, you might also want to have a patio. Patio. So basically where you have slabs of stone laid out in a nice way so that you can sit and have your breakfast, your dinner outside with a nice table. So you don't just have grass in your garden. So patio. I enjoyed sunbathing on the patio yesterday. The weather was lovely. Now, Native Americans have also contributed a lot to the English language. In fact, one of the most important words for me, chocolate, actually originates in the Native American language. Of course, because chocolate came over from the Native Americas, the cocoa plant, I guess. Leila loves to eat chocolate, usually too much. Number 17, an unusual word, cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac. Now, cul-de-sac literally means bottom of the bag. So essentially it is the bottom of the street. You can't go any further. The houses are arranged in a nice kind of round shape so that you can enter, but there's no way to go through that road. It stops. So cul-de-sac. Italian. Right, there are a lot of Italian words in English, the majority of which are actually food-based. But of course, because we use a lot of Latin in English, you will come across many, many words in English that are based in Latin and you can find in Italian. Now, there are a few words that we commonly use and you might not realise are actually Italian. The first being paparazzi or paparazzi. It depends how you want to pronounce it. But essentially the paparazzi, I think I say that, paparazzi, are those people who unofficially take pictures of celebrities. They're out there jumping with their cameras, flashing the lens at celebrities. So many celebrities find the attention from paparazzis very intrusive. Number 18, fiasco. Fiasco. This word entered the English language in the 19th century from Italian and essentially means a complete failure. The party was a total fiasco. Who organised it? Number 19, motto. Motto. Now, Love English actually has a motto that if you love English, you'll enjoy learning it. And motto, taken from Italian, essentially means a phrase that encapsulates the ideas or beliefs of someone or a group. What is your motto when it comes to studying English? And finally, propaganda. Plenty of it you will find in mainstream media and social media, especially when it comes to things like COVID and vaccines. But propaganda is an Italian word meaning misleading or biased information. Essentially, propaganda aims to persuade someone of a particular view or belief, often in a way that isn't obvious. So, what propaganda do you believe on the internet about COVID? And there we have it, 20 words, not an exclusive list. There are many, many more words in English that we have stolen from other languages. So remember, comment below and share a word from your language that we use in English. Comment, let me know, and obviously share the meaning and an example with that word for others to learn from you. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to rendezvousing with you soon.